Okay, how we doing out there? First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Supreme Ambient Light Rejection Screen Paint using Ambient Light Rejection Technology game. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Got a little homestead playing in the background. I don't want you hearing a bunch of roosters crowing. So anyway, we're going to do something a little different today. Can't be outside today. Again, we got another rainy day outside. So, like I said, I want to get out there and get this 1,000 lumen demonstration done outside, because it's, like I said, it's one of the real demonstrations we like to do when it comes to ambient light. So I thought I'd do something a little different today. So we're going to be showing one of the perks that the roll-on and spray-on and a lot of other screen paints have that we really don't talk about too much. And this is what we call low lumen enhancement technology. And what it does, it takes a low lumen projector, allows it to be able to produce an image on a screen without the screen basically deteriorating or washing out. Now, just to show you that this is not made to fit the screen, because I watch demonstrations where people would take a smaller screen and project the image to fit. As you can see, it is hitting the background of my kitchen, so it is actually overlapping the screen itself, which means it's actually larger than the screen I'm displaying, which means those pixels are not pushed tightly together. They give it a sharper, brighter image. I have it over maxing the screen. Now, in this demonstration, we're going to be using my office ViewSonic projector at 900 lumens right here. I was going to do a demonstration on the Christie, but I'm thinking like 4,000 lumens is a bit overkill. It isn't much of a challenge with a 4,000 lumen projector. So I went down and got this one right here, the Panasonic. Now the Panasonic is a more professional projector, 1080p, has a lot of great perks in it that newer projectors have today. It's just a 1,500 lumen projector, and some people have projectors like this. They have the Sony Bravo's projectors are known for having 900 lumens, 1,000 lumens, 1,500 lumens, 2,200 lumens, or the LG beam projector, that short throw projector, has 1,500 lumens. You know, and then people are thinking like, okay, I've got the 1080p, I've got everything, but just my lumen count is just a bit too low, and I'm concerned about using this in a fully lit environment. Now, for me, like I said, because we can't get outside, and we are going to go outside and do that demonstration. I've never been one to back down from one, but I just want to just take it a little farther and just get some spotlights from down in the basement, which we have here, and hit the screen with it with a 900 lumen projector. All right, so let's go back. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I was supposed to be taking the day off, believe it or not. Today was going to be a day off for me, but brain got to ticking again. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna go downstairs and get those floodlights and load them up and see what happens. So we got the overhead lights, and then we have our screen right there on our 900 lumen ViewSonic projector that was manufactured in 1999. It was manufactured in 1999. A lot of these older projectors, data projectors, were manufactured in 1999. These are old projectors. Now, usually the average person is not going to have this kind of lighting here in the screen, but just to give you an idea of exactly how much light these screens can actually pull in. And this is the roll-on black silver, which we will have available on the 1st of October in 1 quart and 2 quart containers. Now, I have a lot of people asking about this because, like I said, some people may shy away from the darker screens because, like I said, because of the lumen count on their projector, even though these screens can actually produce images on 1,000 lumens with no problem. But they just feel comfortable in the feel of a gray screen, and this is where this technology comes in. Now keep in mind, this is the roll-on version of it. You cannot do a transparent screen with this. You can't do rear projection. And let's get some measuring tape out here too, because I need to see exactly where this projector is sitting too. Oh, man. I have a good friend of mine, the lady who comes down and picks up the packages for me. She's a hardcore gamer, which is fantastic. And we just started playing that game. I know I'm a little late. I'm a little late on buying games, I am. I just don't have any time. But we started playing World War Z. Oh my goodness, man. It's like Left 4 Dead on steroids. I freaking love the game. I love it. Like, I know it's old, but I love the freaking game. So me and her are in there playing that right now in private co-op. And I'm having a ball in it. I'm loving it. I love zombie games, but some of them get a little too creepy. The Dead Rising, I think, series, that thing gave me freaking nightmares, believe it or not. But I used to be a huge Resident Evil fan. I did Residential on VR. That was creepy. Yeah, pretty soon it'll be coming in gallon sizes. As soon as we know how to break it down. So when we making ingredients, keep in mind it's much like if you're cooking at a restaurant, okay? Now, usually restaurant cookbooks are like for maybe 50, 60, 70 people. And then you may have maybe a party of 3 or 4 that may come in for that serving. And then what they have to do is, this is where I had to learn advanced fractions, where you have to learn to break down all the ingredients to actually accommodate a party of 3 for a book that's designed to feed a party of maybe 20 or 30. So that's how we have to do when it comes to gallons. We have to break it down on exactly how much it takes to actually make a quart, and then multiply that to what it makes to make the gallon. And sometimes, even if we do that, we may be a little bit off, because a gallon may require just a little bit more than what the quarts would require. So like I said, just give it about a couple of days and we'll have that already done. All right, so let me show you where the measuring tape's at. So we're actually, there's the screen right here, as you can see right here. We'll come over because I want you to see that we're right eye to eye to the screen. It's here to here, right? We're going to come back over here and show you the measuring tape. So we are around 12 feet away from the screen. What is needed to be able to produce a 100-inch screen? Let me go grab something there. Shirt to put on too, because I got my rag shirt on today. Keep in mind, most people are not going to have 200. The lights are about 100 watts each. So they're not going to have about 200 watts of light nailing their screen right from the door. So let's just give you an idea. I should bring down the Sony too. I like using the Sony projector. So we'll grab the Sony too. Sony's 1,000 too. I am probably considering, I have 2 of those ultra short throw projectors, Epsons. I'm considering buying myself a yoga mat and turn it into a projection screen, for a full projection screen. So I gotta stop talking about so many projects because there's a lot to be done. So let's go in, let's grab Sony. Get this connector off the back of it. All right, and we're going to disconnect here. We're going to run 1,000 lumens, and that's showing you with the projector off. You can see how much the light is making contact with the screen. That's very important that people show you exactly how much physical light actually connects with the screen. And that's something I usually never see in demonstrations because they're using ambient light controlled environments, and that means there's no physical light hitting the screen at all, period. All right, so we take our Sony projector. Sorry, not Sony projector, that's the ViewSonic. I'm going to grab the Sony, add 1,000 lumens, 20,000 lumens more. Not 1,000 more, only 100 lumens more. Okay, put this in here. And we'll connect this back here. we'll run our VGA to the side here. We can get the connect. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to power up the Sony. So projector we're going to use the Sony SVGA at 720p at 1000 lumens. And we're around 12 feet back from the screen. Now we're going to do two of these recordings. One is going to be pre-recorded. We're going to be doing more pre-recorded videos because, like I said, you really don't get a chance to see the quality of these screens. I mean, these screens are absolutely amazing. Usually when I do stream, we like to do streams only when we're testing. Because it allows, and we're flexing the screen, we'll use basically we'll pre-record because we really don't need to prove too much. I mean, the technology by itself is absolutely incredible. Let me get this to drop a little more. Let me get that a little bit farther down. Right, that perfect. This works. And this is the Sony projector at 1000 lumens, 720p. And what we have, I'm going to put the full detailed specifications on this Supreme Black Silver 12 roll-on. At the bottom of the description, you'll notice that when you read in that category where it talks about the projector's lumen requirement, 800 lumens in the house and 1000 lumens outside. Now keep in mind, in the timeline, because I have people going way outside the timeline, the product was tested. Usually when we have to test a product, I know exactly when it's going to activate outside. A projector has to be set outside with the camera, and that projector is going to sit out there from we started off at around 8 o'clock in the morning until around about 5 or 6 o'clock. We figured that's when it's going to trigger. So in between that time, we can go back and we can check and see areas of time where the screen was actually activating to the projector. So we know that they activate daylight savings time, I say somewhere around 6 o'clock in the evening. And in the summer, then we're talking about probably around 7 o'clock. So that's how we know. But if people are gonna, you got to read the specifications, please. You got to read the specifications. I got people that'll take that projector out at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the evening and go, hey, I didn't see the picture. Did you read the specifications? Which means we had to run all these tests to figure out when the screen's going to reactivate, when it's not going to activate, stuff like that. We have to do all those tests. So that's what the specification sheets are for. So you go to the website and you order the paint. You scroll down, read the specification sheets right there. Also, toward the bottom, it'll be a projector info policy, which are the projectors that we support. You gotta read through all that before you click that checkout, so you're fully aware of what you're buying. I've seen people use foam rollers and streak the daylights out of the screen and say, well, you know, I've seen you. No, name one video you ever seen me using a foam roller. All my videos, I use gnat roller, 9-inch gnat rollers. And I tell people, if you're using a gnat roller, do not go with the 3 or the 4. You're going to definitely mess your screen up. You need a 9-inch roller or larger. If you're doing a bigger screen, if you're doing a huge screen, if I'm doing a 180-inch screen, I would go with maybe a 12. But like I said, if you're going to be using a little roller, a 9 on a 180-inch, yeah, okay. I mean, I've done it before, but like I said, it's no easy task. I mean, it's basically if you have a wider roller, you're easily doing it that way, or just spray it. And we're going to do a few spray-on demonstration. I was supposed to be doing a few spray-on demonstrations for a customer. I just haven't had the time. You got to remember, I'm juggling like a whole bunch of stuff. Right now, I'm actually dismantling, because no one knows what's going on. I'm dismantling my arcade cabinet upstairs. I've been painting it already. So basically, the theme I'm going to go with is form like a nuclear kind of bio kind of case. That's what I'm going with. So the case is going to be all black. I've already ordered all forms of UV paint that's actually going to glow when the lights come on. I ordered bios, stickers, everything. So that's what that's the theme that I'm actually going to be designing for it. And I had to make sure that whatever I was spraying it with didn't warp the screen. So, you know what I mean? And I realized yesterday that spray paint does not play well with me in my lungs. Even though I have a mask on, I have a huge mask on to protect me with the huge air filters on each side, because I don't play around with that. But when I did it outside, nah, I could still smell it. So I was like, this is not going to work. So I went online and I got some hobby paint, some water-based hobby paint, something I can do the case with, because it's not going to work the other way. On the other hand, my neighbor does work anyway, so he's got about 16 cans of spray paint he can have for free. I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he'll figure out something. So here we are. There's my projector right there. We got the portable out, Sony. We are 12 feet from the screen. The screen's being hit with 200-watt floodlights. And then we have the overhead light. We are showing you we call it LL Enhancement Technology, but it's low lumen enhancement technology. Now, those of you that are using those Sunbeam LG projectors, keep in mind you're using it in an ultra short throw. So your throw distance isn't that far. You're literally sitting right up on top of the screen with an ultra short throw. But this, you would have no problem with pulling off the image because, like I said, 12 feet back, easy image to pull off. Also, too, in the specification sheet, it has, you can paint this on anything, but then it does say certain things you cannot paint on. We advise you not to paint it on. Stucco is one of them. Yes, I've had someone paint stucco before. I've done a stucco wall before, and that's because the customer we painted the screen on for, we went to her home and painted on, this is way back. She just didn't want to sand down the stucco. Well, I was going to basically trace out an image in the stucco and go in there with a sander and sand it out real smooth, like a nice little, you know, projection screen, change or alter it. So she wanted us to just paint over the stucco, and I was like, okay. So we just painted over the stucco. It's not an easy job. You ever try to frog tape stucco wall? Not fun. Not fun at all. But anyway, she liked it. She enjoyed it, but it'd have been nice if we just went there with a sander and just sanded a nice little sharp square and just painted it into the stucco. Would have been really cool, but that's what she didn't want. But anyway, so we advise you, do not do stucco, do orange peel. If you can run your hand across your walls and your fingers start bumping like this, then no, that's not a good idea. Because it may look good when the contrast comes up, it may look good when the color comes up. When the white levels come up, you're going to see all those tiny little sandy, gritty imperfections pushing right through your screen. So do not paint on that. And another thing we give you instructions on is fabric. If you're painting on fabric, I've said this many times before, priming the screen doesn't mean that you have to prime the surface. Because people think, okay, if he's asking for me to prime the screen with fabric, then we must have to prime everything. Nope, you're thinking too far ahead. Never said that. I said you have to prime the surface because it's a fabric, and the fabric is going to absorb the paint, which means you're going to have some areas that are going to absorb more, some are going to absorb less. So have an even paint coating on the screen, you want to prime it. You could prime it with anything, cheap primer, expensive primer, house paint, whatever. It just needs something to absorb as much paint into the surface as possible to lay an even foundation so you can apply the screen paint. Because you will kill off your paint extremely fast, and you will basically cause your screen to become spotty and blotted. So that's why we tell you to coat it first. I learned that the hard way. Everything I'm telling you is stuff I've already learned the hard way. Like padding the middle of the bar in your screen, your fixed frame screen, that bar in the middle, you have to pad those bars. If not, you'll get an imprint right in the center of your screen. So, you know, all this I'm telling you is from experience, from basically doing it myself. It's nothing more annoying than looking at a 200-inch screen with a bar right down the middle, or imprint down the middle of it. And I've done that one already. Okay. Let's see what else we got on here. I can actually see the whatchamacallit right here. I don't know if you see my cursor moving back and forth back there. I can actually basically click and see where I can actually expand the page, because it's reflecting literally off the chair in the kitchen. All right, now let's take our lights out and show you. the light simply off. Take these off, and we'll just use the lighting we have in the environment only, the overhead lights. You can see that would be adding extra light to the environment, which I just did. So now we're just going to use the everyday environment lighting that I have in here that I use every day. Let's face it, no one's going to have that much light in contact with the screen, and they're not. That's just to show you how much light the screen can take in, that's all. I told you before, these are gray screens. It's not the platinum eclipse. The platinum eclipse is a kind of, it's a real strange color. I'm going to do all the paints all in one hit so you can see how weird this stuff looks. It doesn't look... It kind of, okay, I gotta get the container because you're not gonna believe me if I showed you this stuff. No, it doesn't look like that. Nothing like that whatsoever. All right, so. Pause it here just for a minute. Because if people look at the screen or walk in front of it, it looks black, right? It looks like a black screen. Again, that screen looks black, but it's actually gray. All right, so if we look at the 12, which is the dark screen, black screen that we make, that screen is black. I mean, that's going to screen damage my screen. That's all it was. There we go. So when you lean it against our black technology, it's gray. See how light gray it is? But it can produce a contrast level, and it's seen a contrast level. But now you think the screen is gray, right? But technically, when you paint it on, they're not gray. They have a coating in them. So that coating that we put in that screen allows us to be able to see whether or not someone is tampering with our product. Not just one individual, any company. Because I've had it happen before. I've had a company we were working with one time print out our labels. They print our labels out. They made a large inventory of paint they claimed we sold to them, and they wanted a return on it. Pretty slick, huh? So, what we did was we started coding our formulas with a funny color to it. So that way, if we told them, hey, do me a favor, pour that out for a minute. I want to see what it looks like. They would pour out a gray paint. We were selling them screens and stuff like that. Now look at this. If you look at that, the first thing you would think in your head is, that's gray. It's not even gray. Now, I hate to bring out this container, and I really do. I have to get some regular gray paint, and I hate to use this as an example. That's the spray paint I was using yesterday to paint the cabinet. That was a bad idea, because, man, didn't go as well as I thought it was going to go. Made my breathing a little bit harder. It made me a little hard to breathe. All right, so like I said, when I bring out this container, no way it's not to slander this particular individual. It's just to give you a good idea exactly which is which, okay? So no way, don't take it too far too extreme. Some of y'all go get a little too passionate, get a little overboard with it. Calm down, please. All right, so you can see, all right? There's no way to say anything about its product. Just showing you the different colors. Now, this is gray. And this right here is a really funny formula that we made. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it is very, very interesting. See it now? So it's not gray, but it is gray. kind of like the nines we're talking about. They're black, but they're not black. You got to figure that one out. Now it's going to take a while. Anyway, so you can see. So if you look at that screen, it looks black in one moment, doesn't it? If I put it against a black screen, it comes out gray. If I show you what the formula looks like in its element, it has a funny kind of purplish, goldish, whatever kind of weird tone to it, doesn't it? So how does it change like that? Can't tell you that. And if somebody thinks, oh, it's chameleon paint, oh, don't use that stuff. Oh, yeah, wreck your screen. Go ahead. I love when people experiment on their own stuff. Be my guest and wreck your screen. Nope. It just basically, say if you had a screen that had a bit of intelligence and it knew when the projector was showing contrast so the screen could change to a darker level to produce a darker level off the screen. Something like that. That's where you have to do more than just study different forms of formulas and chemicals and stuff like that, because I tell people, look, when you get around and start mixing this stuff together, understand that you can't just mix anything together. You want to. Ingredients and stuff like that have temperaments, which means sometimes they can change into other elements with just a change of another element, and it could be dangerous, which means you can potentially make a gas. You could potentially make something extremely dangerous. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't go around throwing stuff together like some freaking weird Frankenstein. You know what I mean? Know what you're doing before you do this. Now, I've been in this field since I started my YouTube account in 2010. And I've been working with it for a long time. I have a little bit of chemistry background, a little bit, tiny little bit chemistry background, but enough for me to be able to know what I'm doing and to know what I'm reading and what I'm not supposed to mix and you should mix and should not mix. So all this stuff has to be tested. Keep in mind, the part that you see is just this part you see right here. You don't see where we freeze this stuff. I have to freeze this stuff, set it out in the heat. I have to see how long it takes for a can to implode. So all this stuff has to be tested. I don't put things in metal cans anymore. It's the reason why I don't put something in a metal can anymore, because when a formula, and any formula is inside of a can, it's restricted, which means a formula automatically, whatever it may be, eventually, if it's cold or if it's hot outside, it may start to expand. And if it can't expand around a can, the can becomes pressurized, and it may suck in or it may suck out, which means you may have a can that may implode on you. That's why I use plastic, because plastic can expand. See, there's a science behind it. Even down to the containers, it's a science behind it. But people don't think about that when they develop screen paints. Now, if you're using, everything we use is water-based. It has to be water-based. Every chemical we use, we know exactly what it is. You have to research every chemical that you use. The reaction, how it's going to react to this, how it's going to react to that, before you start throwing things together. You know what I mean? There's a science behind it. So there's a lot of testing to go before taking a product, making it, and throwing it up on your wall, hitting it with a projector and say, hey, look how pretty the colors look. There's a science behind it. You have to see how this stuff is going to react. I have little sheets of plexiglass literally in my backyard that sit out there all year round. They sit in the rain, they sit in the snow, they sit in the heat, and I go out there and I check them to see exactly how many of them cracked, if they peel, what elements I paint. Now, mind you, when I do this, I paint the element only to see how the element is going to react. And then you may have an incident where maybe, say, all the elements marry together perfectly, but they may not marry to certain surfaces. So you have to test it on every form of surface to see, all right, it's going to marry to this, it's going to marry that. Why? This is why you see me painting all these screens, because I have to see if it's going to marry well to that surface. And once you got that compound down packed, then basically that becomes your first table of content to start, or you know what I'm talking about, your first table of, your first level. Or paints have levels. So come your first level, that's your foundation. Once you basically allow to build your foundation, you can build anything on top of that, as long as you keep it stable. It's kind of like building a stack of cards. You know what I mean? You wouldn't build a stack of cards on a slanted foundation. You would keep on a flat foundation. Now, every time you build a card onto that, you stair step a card to that, it changes the formula. Every time it goes up, it advances the formula until you reach the last one at the top, and that's when it finalizes. But all those stacks that you put up, there has to be testing for each card as it starts to build up. That's how my brain functions when I see screen paint. It isn't just splattering 2 teaspoons of this and a tablespoon of that and stirring it up, and no. It's the reason why my product reacts the way it reacts. All right, let's move on with this. We're having some fun with this. We got to bring out, the last one I got to bring out is the 1500 lumens. A lot of people have been asking me about, they have high-end projectors that have low lumen counts. I could never understand that about the Sony Bravo projectors. I mean, they're huge, massive. I mean, the older ones, beautiful projectors. About 900 lumens on a projector is going to cost me $5 grand. Are you kidding me? They must know something I don't know. Now, you saw how light the screen was when I showed you? The screen's very light. When you look at the screen, you think they're black. Look at the contrast level that screen is pulling up on a screen that light. And we're only at 1,000 lumens. This is going to be some pretty cool paint to launch. Like I said, we're going to do we'll have a gallon pretty soon, but right now we're just going to have 1 quart and 2 quarts right now. So price range for 1 quart, because we already did the last demonstration. I think I just about covered everything. We did ultra short throw, which is Optima GT56. We did an 800 lumen projector at around 20 feet back. We did the 900 lumen at around 20 feet back. We did 15 feet back, which we already did this one outside already. Sony projector. What else did we hit it with? 4,300 lumens of the Chrissy. We hit it with that. Let's see. Oh, we tested against 4 or 5 different high performance sample sheets as we did the Paxson. I keep saying that wrong. I do apologize. I get online to learn to say that word. Well, probably if I am saying a Paxson, I'm saying it right. But anyway, we did the 8.0 or 0.8, whatever screen from them. We did the DMP Supernova, and we did the Grade 75D. I did a Grade 75D because I see more people with a Grade 75D than I see basically with a Dark Star 9. I just do. I see a lot of people on YouTube with that, with the Grade 75D. I see very few people with a Dark Star 9. So as you can see, look how beautiful the contrast levels. Fantastic. I think I got another one in here coated too. This one. Okay. Oh, it's going to start, doesn't it? Watch this. Watch the screen. So it becomes dark. In front of it. And now it's bright. Now watch this. Even if I walk on the side of the screen, it doesn't become dark. It still maintains the bright level. You would think it would go darker because that one just did. Nah. It's a science. Like I said, everything is a science behind it. The reason why they don't do tests like we do over here on, well, how I do tests on my level is because they can't pass it. That's all to it. You can't push the envelope if your product has never really been tested and there's no real science behind it. Now right now I could paint myself a 100-inch screen and use this projector for my main projector right now. At $75, that's what I paid for the projector behind me. $75, that's it. There you go. I'll put you up nice and close. So, okay, getting back to the price again. All right, so the reason why, and some people ask me, why are we charging such a low price for this technology? Because it's a great paint, that's why. We consider a gray paint to be considered, compared to the technology we develop in darker technologies, we consider a gray paint to be a mid-level. That's what it's a mid-level product. That's what it is. So since it's mid-level, and we consider it not to be one of the top-end screens, but the top-end screens are the darker screens. So like I said, even though for a mid-level screen, it is outstanding. You got to consider that. Look at the black levels it's pulling up in a fully lit environment and on the caliber projector it's using. So even though it is more advanced than some of the other screens out there, we still consider it to be a mid-level screen. So the price for one quart would be around $89. Price for 2 quarts would be $142. I think that was it. I don't know if the gallons are going to be under $200, so it's going to be somewhere in the field of maybe about 160 or something like that for a gallon. Now, will this be able to compete with the 12? No. No, not on any planet whatsoever. It's not. 12s can produce the same brightness level as the screen and produce a contrast that's better than this screen with no problem. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you. Right here, we got one right there, right? Come over here behind me, and we're going to switch our projectors over. Let me see. And I got this run through the computer, so let me see. I'll just run this through my Chromecast to the back, because this is running through the computer, and we'll fire up this projector. So that's why 12s are the tops, because 12s can produce contrast and bright levels at the same time. They'll blend this screen and produce a contrast level that the screen won't even be able to touch. Let me see what I did with my phone. I had to put a payment on my boat. See what I mean? Told you. 12s can produce very high bright levels. The white levels on 12s are insane. May not be as high as a gray. It may not be as high as the white. But bottom line is the white levels are so amazing that that screen is not going to basically wash out or basically become so dark you can't see the screen. Oh, let me go back over here and show you that one at the same time. Oh, and by the way, when I tell you about that low lumen technology that we developed, mind you, that's 1,000 lumens, and the projector behind me is 4,000 lumens. Look at both screens side by side. There you go. Gonna blend right into a straight screen with no problem. So here we are. On this side we have, like I said, look how bright the 1,000 lumen projector is, right next to a 4,000 lumen projector, short throw, Chrissy. I can sit here, it's Sunday. I can sit here in my living room right now at around, we're at around 7:46. And I can see all my screens. I told you I can walk around my house, have all my lights on, and I can see all my screens with no problem. This is what that ambient light projection technology, that's why I love it so much, because to be able to not have my living room looking like a dark, if I had any other screen, all those windows would be shut. There'd be darker curtains on those. This place would look like the Batcave. My projector, my Chrissy, is an LW400. That's what it is. You can get them right now. I think somebody's selling a couple of them for 160 bucks. That's what they run for. Oh, wait a minute. Let me show you something. So what we're going to do is, because like I said, some people feel it's the projector doing the work. I'm going to show you something. So we're going to scroll down. There you are. That's what my Chrissy looks like without our technology. Because some people look at the, and I'm not saying you're saying that, but I have some customers that actually will look at the Christie projector and they'll say, well, they believe that the projector is doing all the work because Christie's are top tier projectors when they're not doing all the work. The screen does all the work. And this is on a 4,000 lumen short throw, and that's what it looks like. Look at this. And that's on a 720p you're seeing right there. 600 by 800 res. This one is WXGA. No, this is a WXGA projector. That is an SVGA projector at 600 by 800 res. Now, let me go in and show you the see what we got going on in this video over here.
Now, get the Samsung Galaxy S25 on us with my Endo 25 only at price.
See the white levels on the black screen? I told you, they're quite high. But the 12 can produce contrast. The contrast on a black silver is good. It's good when it comes to the category of other gray screens. The contrast level is unmatched. But when it comes to a black screen, it's no way in the world. Black screen's going to produce 100% contrast regardless. That's like when you have people saying that, well, and not to go back on this and not to refresh this or reopen this, but when you have somebody testing, trying to do a demonstration against our technology and they go, well, my gray screen is producing a higher white level. Well, guess what? If you're going to do a real demonstration, you should do a white screen against your screen because the white screen is going to produce a higher white level than a gray screen. Any gray screen, any black screen, because nothing's going to produce a higher white level than the color white itself. So they miss out on that part. They just want to go into just saying over and over again, well, a gray screen is going to pull higher white levels than a black screen and so forth, a higher white level. Now, colors, our screens can blend into other screens with no problem because they produce very bright colors. If you're talking about a bone white image, then a white screen is going to be superior in that category. No gray screen, I don't care if it's Black Diamond, I don't care if it's DMP Supernova, I don't care what company it may be, will ever match the exact same white levels as a white screen. Impossible. Just like no other gray screen out there or white screen will ever match the contrast of a black screen. But the difference between our technology is that we can produce very high white levels, which allows the screen to be able to blend in the colors. Now that new LL enhancement technology that we developed in this particular screen paint allows low lumen projectors to produce very bright images even when next to a 4,000 lumen projector. So those who haven't seen the projector, there it is right over there. That's a Sony portable projector at around 12 feet back. And I'm using my short throw projector, which is actually much closer than the screen than the Sony. Look how bright the image is here. Now, if we could do this, use this technology was designed for people who have, like I said, they have projectors of low lumens. And even though the black screens can pick up images at 1,000, they still feel comfortable with having a gray screen. And that's where this technology falls in at. Now, we have the roll-on version because, like I said, there's a version that came out, which we still have it, which it's a spray-on version. It does front and rear at the same time. Well, you can do front and rear on plexiglass. Any kind of transparent surface, it's front and rear. It's a spray-on application. But some customers don't feel comfortable with using a paint sprayer. So basically, we made the roll-on version that will allow you to be able to just roll it on and be done with it. Makes it a lot easier. Look at the image we're getting from a 720p. I bet you if you saw that projector on eBay right now going for $75, no HDMI on the back of it, that's VGA only. There's no HDMI on the back of those projectors. And you saw that projector like, I don't want that crap. That thing's gonna look horrible. I want to go get myself a 4K or a 1080p projector and it's only 1,000 lumens. What am I gonna do with 1,000 lumens? Like, you wouldn't think I'd go higher than that, 3,000, 4,000 lumens. And then realize if you took one of those projectors and you hit it with this technology, that's the image you would pull up. It's not the projector. Well, if it's knockoff, then it is projector. But majority of your home theater setup is all wrapped around your screen. It is. I saw somebody today on Facebook. They had an amazing gaming room setup. It was amazing. Trust me, it was beautiful. But when I saw the screen they were displaying, it was a gray screen. And you could see, you couldn't even see the Xbox logo, nothing. It was faded and washed out all the way around the screen. You could see the green was faded. It looked pretty bad. But the thing about it is he could display his, I had to show him a picture of my screen upstairs. I have him in my gaming room that I'm building. I said, look, you have an amazing gaming room. You have plenty of stuff to look at, plenty of things to display for people to see, which I think is amazing. But you cannot have your lights on because your screen will wash out. So you have a choice here. Keep your room in the dark, and no one sees exactly what you collected down through time, and they can see your trophies because they have to be able to see the screen. Where I can sit here in a fully lit environment and I can look at all the things that I've collected and display them or put them on display and show up a beautiful image on my screen at the same time without spending a ton of money for the projector. And he's basically contacted me today to change the screen over to black. So this will be launching on the 1st of October. That's when we're going to launch it. So I just have one more demonstration to do. I just have to do the outside demonstration, which, you know, we've been getting some rain. Hopefully we get a little, they clear away today and I can bring the projector out and we can do the demonstration because it has to pass that test. Without that test, we can't launch it. I need to see for myself that it maybe just because the inside of here looks good, it's not enough. I need to see that screen produce that image outside. I like this shot. We got both screens at the same time. Monkey's kiss, huh? Kind of looks like a guy who wants this girl and he gets in a relationship and then she's just over protective and whatever, and it's like, oh goodness, what did I do to get into this? How do I get out? That's why I like doing these demonstrations. People say, well, you know, you can't get a beautiful screen out of 720p. Yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. You'd be surprised. All those 720p projectors out there going for such a cheap price out there all over eBay. And you'd be surprised what you could get out of them by using this technology. Now I'm going to eBay today. I'm going to buy me a projector for a price range for a projector. Let me see. We got to keep it under. Let's see. I'm going to try to get one for about $70. That's what I'm looking for. I'm getting me a $70 projector. I'm going to get a portable to another Sony. That's what I'm going to get. I'm going to buy it for $70. And I'm going to do the display on these screens and show you the image I'm going to get from a $70 projector. I don't even look for HDMI anymore. What's the point? You know what I mean? I don't look for HDMI. I don't care if it's 4K or 1080p. Don't care if it's 720p. It really doesn't make a difference if it's 1,000 lumens or 2,000. It really doesn't make a difference because it's going to display whatever. I don't have to worry about contrast levels. If it's 1,500 to 1 or if it's 200 to 1 contrast, the screen's black. These screens right here pull up amazing contrast levels. Let's go over here. Let's come out of this for a minute. I'm running this off my computer. All right, let me see if I can bring up the screen to show you the white level. That's running off the computer right now. Let's see if I can figure out where the mouse just went to, because it was just here. Remember, I'm all over the place. I'm up here and up down here. I'm trying to bring it down a little bit. Let me see. Right, there it is. There we go. Can't figure out where my mouse was at. I couldn't find it. Let's check out the contrast levels on the gray screen. one off. Now, beautiful thing about the crispy projectors is that the heat, because people think, okay, you got your projector sitting up here by your, okay, so see where I'm sitting at right now? People think the heat is actually blowing on me. No, crispy projectors heat come out to the front. And I have my projectors all set in eco mode. There's no point in, the screen generates that much gain. There's no point in having the projector, burning the projector at the maximum. They're all in eco mode. That's the beautiful thing about it too. It'll take me forever to burn through the lamp. Find that really good contrast levels in there. I'm looking for black levels. That's what I'm hunting for. I want something really dark. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Them black levels. That's one thing. I don't see enough demonstrations on people displaying gray screens with the contrast level. See how bright that screen is? This is the color of this screen right here. Black silvers can produce contrast on a gray screen. So pretty much it helps out, like I said, people have very low end projectors. It helps for the fact that you don't have to worry about, because you went with a light gray screen or a gray screen. We're going to call it mid-gray. You go with a mid-gray screen, you don't have to worry about suffering any contrast levels, color loss, none of that. Images are not going to fade out. And you're still going to maintain a contrast level. The screen should be black from edge to edge. All right, so we're going to bring out next the Panasonic 1500 lumen projector. Keep in mind, this projector right here has zero contrast, which means it doesn't have a contrast ratio at all, none. But the one we're going to bring out has a, I think it's a 16,001, which really doesn't make a difference, to tell you the truth. Because, like I say, you can have a gray screen. If you have a gray screen that can't pull contrast, you're never going to see the contrast level. You just won't see it. Something much more darker than that. Look at the deep blues in this. And we're going to get a couple of political commercials going to pop up. And other commercials. Did we get a skip on this by any chance? I can skip this. Yeah, thank you. It shows you how deep the blacks and the blues are in this technology. You guys are going to have fun with this. You're going to have a ball with this. Now, because the paint, like I said, because it's a mid-level, we call these mid-levels. We got to post that too. It's a mid-level. So we have to start giving us our screen paints classes now. Because we had no intention, like I said, the reason why this was developed to begin with is a rear projection screen technology. So, if you look at this right here, I'm going to go get the part of the screen that basically is the spray-on version. This is the spray-on version of the technology. Now, if you got, we're going to have, in the shopping carts, we're going to have one says spray on and one says roll on. This is what happens when you use a spray on version on plexiglass. See how the image looks here? That's how the image looks there. This is the one I had outside, and I had the light pushing through the opposite side of the glass window and hitting the screen from outside and producing an image at less than a foot away from the screen. Has to be sprayed on. So keep in mind, this one does not have the ability to do front and rear. It can do front, it can't do rear. You can't do rear with it. It would be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool to have this hanging. Like, you know, a pretty cool idea was to have this, have the projector hitting it, right? And have this hanging up where the screen could spin around. and you can just watch the movie. I'm curious how to look at abstract art. They have a bunch of these hanging up and spinning like nice and slow. You ever seen those kind of abstract arts they had that spin real slow, you know what I mean? And the thing's it's like a spiral, the ball like it's moving around up and down. It would be cool to see these like that, moving around real slowly. Have 4 of them all together and just watch them slowly spin. I know it's like I'm hypnotizing you. You're getting sleepier, sleepier, sleep. I'm only joking with you. Yeah. Yep. I'll leave you guys right here for a minute. But that'd be cool to do. Now I gotta look that up. I'm gonna have to build one. I got to build one now. Oh no, that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty cool to do. We have to build one, yes. You know something funny? I can show you how to build an alternate galaxy by using just vegetable oil and Christmas glitter. You think I'm joking on that, right? I'll show it to you. I'm gonna order some stuff and show you how to make one. More like a what's it called? What's the word for it? Not like more like a galaxy. Because you have to understand, oil. When you have oil, right? When you drop glitter in oil, right? It doesn't sink to the bottom right away. When you shake it up, it stays suspended in the oil because it's so thick. And when you shine light through it, each one of them reflects in a different way on how you move it back and forth. And it kind of looks like you have a galaxy actually in your hand. It's kind of cool. But yeah. All right. Let me swap this out. So we're gonna swap this out for. I know some of you hear me say some crazy stuff. Like I said, when I was doing the upstairs, I'm gonna put an arcade box there, and I'm building one right now. So you know you got to get used to that. If I say something, pretty much chances are it's gonna pop up on camera that I've already built it and put it together. This right here, I've already ordered the screen for it. So I'm still waiting for the screen. That smells good. The Irish Spring. Woo. Put my soap up there. I forgot to take it upstairs. This is the material that I got for designing the acoustic screens right here. Yes. So we're going to be using this to make an acoustic screen. That's the next project. Got to order speakers for that. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. Walking home from our house Christmas Eve. People say don't believe in Santa. But as for me, Grandpa, we believe. Okay, let me get this right here. Now we don't need this because this projector right here has lens shift capability, which means we're going to put our projector where we want, and the image will shift down to where it's going to go. This is the projector I'm going to be using for my acoustic screen because I want the whole setup to be in all black. I want the projector to be in black, speakers black. We're going to do a jet black acoustic screen. Now mind you, keep in mind, even though I'm showing you the fabric, you're thinking, well, that's all I got to do. No, it's not going to work that way because keep in mind, that's going to show contrast. It can't pull white level, can't pull white light. So the image is going to come out muddy. It's going to come out dirty. So we have to coat that with an invisible 12 in order to get the screen to pull white level. So this is what we're using right now. It's our Panasonic projector right here. When I bought this projector, I was a little bit afraid that it was not going to have a high enough lumen count. You know, we first started off with it, but surprisingly, these things are really bright for 1500 lumens. All right, so let's get some power. But keep in mind, when you buy these projectors, they have no form of audio output source. So you're going to have a receiver or something in order to get sound out of them. Just so you know, before you buy one. I got lucky on this one. I bought this one. I got it for $139. Somebody over at Goodwill was putting this projector for auction. No one came in and bid on it. I came in and put the bid on it and got it. The only thing that was wrong with this projector was basically the lamp light was flickering. That's basically about it, telling me that I needed a new lamp. Went on eBay, got me a lamp for about 30 bucks, replaced it. Had it ever since. I like this projector because it was jet black. I think that's the reason why I got it, because it was jet black. Okay, fire this up. Now this projector, everything is it's automatic. You hear the lens changing and all that. The Christies do it too. The Christies click, they make a clicking noise. They adjust the lens automatically on Christies. Hear that? So that's the projector adjusting the lens. Vertical shift, vertical shift, vertical shift, vertical shift, vertical shift. Vertical shift, vertical shift, vertical shift, vertical shift, vertical shift. Okie doke. What do we have around here? You guys over here. So there it is, 1080p. Kind of interesting, is it, that the Sony at 720p kind of looks the same at this at 1080p. There's really no difference, is it? You would have thought you see more of an improvement, you know what I mean? Like this would actually overshoot. No, to tell you the truth, like I said, this technology is designed to make older projectors look really amazing. Blacks do it too. Like I said, the blacks, no, they all that technology to be able to make an older projector look amazing. Matter of fact, the projector I'm using right here, the guy wanted the model number of the projector. This is 720p. It's a 720p projector. That is not a 1080p projector. This is a 1080p projector. So we'll go on and we'll switch this one on, and we'll look at 720p next to 1080p. So that projector would cost you, and you go right now. I've seen a couple of the these projectors, the LW400s, going for at least $100. I paid one. I got two of them upstairs. How many I got? Three altogether. I got 6 Christies. So I bought that. The 505 is the one that was actually the hardest one to get, because those projectors are they're a bit pricey, but if you get one for around $500 or $600, grab it. So they can run more than that. Let's come out of deep space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Star Trek Enterprise, to boldly go where no man has gone before. So that's 720p right there. Let me bring my camera up a little bit. Can't do it there. Nope, can't do it there. You got any right in the camera? There we go. That's 720p. Right there. And that right there, that's 1080p. So mind you, since the screen is black, when I'm looking at black on the screen, I'm literally seeing black. No gray, no dark gray, jet black. Just like an OLED. That's what it looks like, an OLED. Got no 4K in here. No 1080p in this section. No laser. Where's that coming from? I'm hearing like another frequency coming from somewhere. Oh, wait. I forgot this is playing in the background. What the heck? I'm like, where the hell is that coming from? That's a short trip to insanity right there. We do have 1080p. My fault. I'm sorry. I literally forgot we're running the projector, the Panasonic. The Panasonic's 1080p. My bad. Sorry. So this is 720p here. And that's 1080p. That's 720p here. I was like, wait a minute. I'm looking at this projector like, wait a minute. Isn't that 1080p? So next time somebody tells you that, oh no, you can't use a 720p projector, they won't give you a perfect image. Yeah, that's because they don't have the right technology. That's why. 720p, you can make a 720p if you know what you're doing right. If you know what you're doing, you can actually manipulate a 720p look very close to a 1080p projector, and you're watching them side by side. And somebody says, well, what about the Lumens? The Lumen has nothing to do with the resolution count. It's nothing to do with it. Oh. As you can see, this is 4,000 lumens, and that right there, that's 1,500 lumens. That image is nice, it's beautiful, it's bright, just as bright as the 4,000. That's because that technology has the ability to make a low lumen projector. This technology has it too, but this one specializes in that field. That's why it has that special coating that we put in it, which we call LL Enhancement Technology. That stands for Low Lumen Enhancement Technology. That's why I said, when I say this stuff and people go, oh, that's not possible, you're looking at it right here, it's live. You're watching a 1,500 lumen go next to a 4,000 lumen projector. I mean, like I said, in my mind, I'm not thinking about, and I'm going to say this one time, I don't care about the Jamies of this world. My sights are not on that. My sights are for the black diamonds, the DMP supernovas, the elite screens. That's where my attention is pointed at. That's where I want to be at, in that area right there. But I only want to be in there. I want to show people that they don't have to spend $5,000 and $6,000 for a projection screen. You don't have to have an outrageous, insane projector in order to have this amazing picture. Then you can go out here and you can just basically paint this technology on anything you want, turn anything you want to a high performance projection screen, and just use a low end projector and produce a beautiful image. Because at the end of the day, it's about saving money and being able to have the pleasure of having a theater in your room. Not making payments on something that, you know, God knows it could probably cost more than the payments on your car. So I'm not worried about those people. The people I've already proven what my technology can do, hands down. My eyes are set towards something bigger, which means, bottom line is, I would love to go toe to toe with a Slate 8. But unfortunately, I can't get my hands on one. Any of the slates. That's why when I'm on the internet, I'm searching for these companies' next biggest screen so I can see how it stacks up. I already showed you that Paxel screens can't work with ultra short throws, and they can't. That screen will not operate on. It's a $5,000 screen. It will not work with an ultra short throw. They turn black when they hit with ultra short throws. And to be fair, they do tell you that it doesn't work with an ultra short throw. So if they do develop a screen, it is ultra short throw compatible. It's not going. They're going to charge you the same price as the other screen. They're going to charge you more money. Where in this technology, at $160, you can paint a jet black screen very close to an OLED screen, produce an image in a fully lit environment, use it on a 720p projector and get an amazing image. Ultra short throw compatible. You can take them outside if you want. It's like the best of all worlds when you think about it. And I'm doing all this in a fully lit environment. There's no putting lights here, here, and here. I just did this for the demonstration, but in all my demonstrations, I just turned the lights on and it is as it is. When somebody's showing you a demonstration and they have to prove that their screen paint or projection screen can deal with ambient light, they have to set up lighting in their environment that wasn't there to begin with. All right? That was not there to begin with. Where in my demonstrations, I can just walk around my house with all my lights on. And I like doing the demonstrations where I can just end the demonstration outside, watching the screen outside, which I like to do. Now the mid, we're going to put these in classes now. So this is going to be a mid-level screen, and the mid-level screens will basically be a little cheaper. Like I said, we're going to market a quart at $89. And I've already done the demonstration against the high-end screens. That screen right there was able to beat a couple of the screens that were actually between $4,000 and $5,000. If you don't believe me, you can check out the live demonstration. I got a funny feeling I'm going to get an email over this. Usually I do. And they're not mean emails. They're just an email where basically just talking about potential and how they would like to talk, and I don't want to be bothered with, to tell you the truth. Honestly, I don't. That wasn't my intention when I got into this field. I got into this field because when I did try to find a projection screen to basically, at the time when I sold my 2 TVs for a projector, everybody wanted $4 or $5 grand for a projection screen, and the only other ones they had were the white screens and these light gray screens, which wasn't going to do what it's supposed to do. I'm going to spend $5,000 for a projection screen. That's freaking madness. So I figured, look, I'll just make it myself. And this is where it started. Me and God. Yep, I tell people, all my knowledge comes from God. Everything you're seeing before me is His work. That's why I would love to go to one of those shows. One day, I'll be there. It's the last thing I ever do. I'm going to be at one of those shows. And I'm going to use a 720p projector when I do it. Design my own fixed frame screen. Use a 720p projector. And I'm going to produce an image just like that. Make them believe it's a 1080p projector. I'm going to advertise a projector that's not even there. I'm going to have more lights in my showroom than they're going to have in their showroom. It's going to look like a baseball stadium in there. Because I've watched their showrooms. I watched their videos. That showroom, when they set up their booth, it's all designed to make the screen look good. They use a high-power projector. All the lighting is peppered out through the environment to stay away from the screen, but make the environment look bright. I'm going to have actual physical light contact with the screen. Do the demonstration with all the light hitting the screen. Display the image, as you're seeing right here. And just explain to them that, there's a high-tech 4K laser projector. We had it shipped overseas. We're doing a test run, a beta run for a company. And all the while, it's a $100 720p projector. That's what you show up at the last minute. That would make a lot of people angry. That's not my problem. You should have worked harder. Shouldn't have charging people a lot of money. $5,000. Somebody was telling me for 120 inch, it's like $10,000. A DMP Supernova at 180 inches is $18,000. God knows how much the projector costs that goes with it. I see people on Facebook show off amazing home theater setups. I look at their screens, I go, too bad. I show my technology, what it can do. And I got an order at the end of the day. A couple orders at the end of the day. Well, people, I've always enjoyed these demonstrations with you. I'm gonna wait for the sun to come up because I need to do the outside demonstration, but it's up to God when He decides when I can go out and do this. And He has His reasons. Until then, I can start working on some other projects, and we have orders. Ooh. Tired. I'm always up early in the morning. I love what I do. If I didn't love what I do, you wouldn't see my passion in my work. If I didn't love what I do. I love my job. So this is the orders that we're setting up for Wednesday. These are already done. Actually not done, but these orders that are already made. And it's funny, like I said, orders have increased since, that little incident. And we still have more orders to go through. I still have to order, actually I gotta go on Uline right now. Sorry about that. I gotta get on Uline right now. I gotta order more. I gotta order 32 more containers because I'm out. These are customers' orders are already ready to be processed, and those right there. And I still have to get more orders on top, more containers on top of that because we launched that paint on Thursday, and I got on the first. So on the first, and I've got people already lined up to get their hands on that new gray. So a lot of people excited about getting their hands on it, especially if people are low-end projectors are excited about getting their hands on it. Now, as I said, for those of you, we did a knockoff demonstration with a knockoff projector. It's up to you. We don't support them, just to let you know. But it's up to you, but we don't support them. No. Beautiful color. It's a beautiful image. But I said, without that technology, the screen is worthless. When a projector is worthless without the technology. All right, people. Hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. Thank you all for your time. I'm going to do another version of this pre-recorded, but I think I'm just going to do these two side by side and just use the 1000 lumen projector versus the 4K. I mean the blah 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 blah. The other projector right here, do them side by side. I kind of like that shot, doing both of them at the same time like that. That was pretty cool. So I think I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do them side by side. And I'm going to do a pre-recorded version just in case if this version didn't come up clean enough. I'm hoping the picture probably be a little better, but like I said, I'm going to do a fast pre-recorded version of it because some people have been asking for just a fast version of it. All right, thank you all for your time. The new black silver will be available on Friday. Those shopping carts will open up. Now on Thursday, if you see it there and the shopping carts are saying out of stock, that means the page isn't ready to launch yet, or the shopping cart isn't ready to launch yet. But it'll be launching right around on the 12 o'clock at night, first day. We're going to have it open up, ready to go. Specification sheets have already been done. We already have pictures and everything on it already from the like I said, the invisible and stuff is already, sorry, the invisible version of it, the front and rear version of it, we have pictures of all that. So it's basically still the same technology as a spray on, but the only difference is this one does not require a spray on, this one does not require priming, and this one can be rolled on. You know what I mean? Oh, and it's not rear. You can't use it for rear projection. But other than that, as you can see, if you just use it for front projection, you're good to go. And if you're intimidated by a paint sprayer or you don't feel comfortable with a paint sprayer, there you go. All right, with that being said, thank you all for your time. I have to go, and God bless.